Hello, this is Mrs. Butcher, and this video is on solving rational equations. Now please note the word equation here, because so far we've been using expressions and simplifying them. Equations means there's going to be an equal sign, and there are a little bit different rules when we're using an equal sign solving equations. The first thing that we're going to talk about is when there's basically one fraction on each side of an equal sign, and you guys have done that before. All you have to do is cross multiply. Okay, we have 5 over 2x equals 1 over x plus 3. So we're going to cross multiply. That means we're going to multiply the 5 times x plus 3, put the equal sign, and then we're going to multiply the 1 times the 2x. So when I distribute my 5, I have 5x plus 15, and 1 times 2x is 2x. And now all you have to do is combine like terms. So if I subtract 2x from both sides, or actually I will just subtract 5x from both sides. So we get 15 equals negative 3x, and then divide by negative 3 to get x equals negative 5. And you can check all of these. You can say 5 over 2 times negative 5, which is going to be negative 1/2, should equal 1 over negative 5 plus 3, which is also negative 1/2. So it's good to go. Now here's one that's a little uglier. Same rules, we're going to cross multiply. So we've got x times x minus 1 equals, and then we have x minus 5 times 2x plus 7. And make sure you put these guys in parentheses, because yes, you're going to have to FOIL. So on this side we just distribute the x and we get x squared minus x. And on this side we will have to FOIL this out. We're going to have 2x squared plus 7x minus 10x and minus 35. So now when we combine like terms, note that you've got a quadratic. So you must set it equal to 0. And I'm going to take away 1x squared from the 2x squared, and I get x squared. I have 7x minus 10x is negative 3x, and then I'm going to add another x to that side, so I have minus 2x, and then I have the minus 35. And then solving quadratics, remember we have many options. We have factoring. There's the bell. We have factoring. We have the quadratic formula, which you may have to use sometimes. You could do completing the square. You have options. In this case, there are multiples of negative 5 that add to negative 2. That would be x minus 7 and x plus 5. So factoring is a pretty quick way to solve this, because that means x equals 7 and negative 5. And then if you go back and check it, you can see that, yeah, both of those actually work. Okay, now we're going to see what happens when we have more than one fraction on one side of the equation. So here we have a subtraction problem, 6 over x minus 7x over 5 equals x over 10. And that means that what we're going to have to do, and I'm going to put this in writing so you can write it down, is we're going to multiply the entire equation by the common denominator over 1. So for this one, our denominators are x and 5 and 10. So our lowest common denominator is going to be 10x, because 5 does go into 10. So I'm going to multiply every single thing in this equation by 10x over 1. That means you have to distribute it to all the pieces. So if I multiply 6 over x times 10x, and then I have minus 7x over 5 times 10x equals x over 10 times 10x. I'm just not putting the 1, because you guys know that's understood. Then what I have here is 6 times 10 times x divided by x. These x's cancel, and I have 60. 7x times 10 divided by 5. 10 over 5 is 2, so that's 14x squared. And x times 10x and then divided by 10, that's just x squared. So I have 60 minus 14x squared equals x squared. So this is a quadratic. We don't have to set this one equal to 0. because we can combine like terms. 60 equals 15x squared. 60 divided by 15 is 4, so 4 equals x squared. Just remember, when you take the square root of something, you always put plus or minus. So plus or minus the square root of 4, which is 2. And here is our solutions. We have 2, positive 2 and negative 2. Both of those would work, and you can go back, plug them in, and check them to see if they will really work. Okay, here's another one. 6 over x minus 5 equals 3 over x plus 1. And for some of you, if you feel better about it, put that 5 over a 1. So our lowest common denominator is going to be x and x plus 1. That means I need to multiply all 3 pieces times x plus 1 over 1. So I have 6 times x plus 1 all over x minus 5 times x plus 1 all over 1 equals 3 times x plus 1 all over x plus 1. And then I can cancel things out. These x's can go. And I'm going to go ahead and distribute and make that 6x plus 6. This is all over 1, so I have minus 5x squared and negative 5x times 1. Remember, this minus goes with the whole thing, so minus 5x equals, and then in this case, the x plus 1s are going to cancel, equals 3x. So now I have a quadratic. I need to take my quadratic, combine like terms, and set it equal to 0. Since this 5x squared is negative, I'm going to move it over there. So I'm going to say positive 5x squared, and then I'm going to take 3x and add 5x, I get 8x, and then take away 6x, I get plus 2x. And then we'll subtract that 6 over there, and we get minus 6 equals 0. And when we're solving quadratics, remember, you can factor, or you can use the quadratic formula, or you can use completing the square. This one is not going to factor. If you try it, AC is negative 30, B is 2. There are not any factors of negative 30 that will add up to get positive 2. So we're going to have to use the quadratic formula. Alright, so we have to solve this using the quadratic formula. In case you've forgotten it, x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, where a is 5, b is 2, and c is negative 6. So we're going to say negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 2 squared minus 4 times 5 times negative 6, all divided by 2 times 5. And when you punch that in your calculator, and you do it once with the plus and once with the minus, you're going to get 0.914 and negative 1.314 as your answers, as your x's. So yeah, they're not always pretty. Sometimes you do have to use the quadratic formula. Alright. Alright, this next problem is 2 times x plus 7 over x plus 4 minus 2 equals 2x plus 20 over 2x plus 8. And the first thing we always do is factor. So this side's fine. This side I need to take a 2 out of here and make that x plus 10. And I need to take a 2 out of there and make that x plus 4. So now when I look for my lowest common denominator, I've got x plus 4 here. This is 1 here. And then I have 2 and x plus 4 here. So my lowest common denominator is going to be 2 and x plus 4. I need to multiply all the pieces of the equation times 2 and x plus 4. So when I do this times the first fraction, the x plus 4's cancel out. And then I'll have the 2 and the x plus 7 and the other 2. That gives me 4 and x plus 7. When I multiply it by the second term, I'm going to have minus 2 times 2 is 4 and x plus 4. Nothing cancels out. And then in this last one, the whole thing cancels out, and so I have equals 2 times x plus 10. So now we just need to distribute here. We've got 4x plus 28 minus 4x minus 16 equals 2x plus 20. And when I combine like terms, the 4x's go away. 28 minus 16 is going to be 12, so 12 equals 2x plus 20. Take away 20 from both sides, and I'm going to have negative 8 equals 2x, and divide by 2, x equals negative 4. Now, remember I've mentioned before, we've got to check and make sure that it works. You don't have to check it on paper, but what you do have to do is go back to the original problem up here that we wrote up here, and make sure that if you plugged a negative 4 in for x, that it would not make your denominator 0. But if I put a negative 4 right there, then I would have negative 4 plus 4, and that equals 0, and you're not allowed to divide by 0. So that makes this an extraneous solution, and that means it doesn't work. There's nothing else that will work. The answer is no solution. So really all you have to do is look at your denominators and say, okay, my x is negative 4. Do I have any x plus 4s? Yes, I do, so it's out. All right. Okay, this last example is a complex fraction, a fraction in a fraction, and then we say equals 2. So remember the rules. We're going to simplify the top, which is already simplified. Then we're going to simplify the bottom. So we need to add 1 over x plus 2 over x, and then we will flip and multiply, and then after that we will solve. So in order to make these denominators common, I need to multiply top and bottom here by x, and top and bottom here by x plus 2. So that gives me x plus 2x. I'm going to go ahead and distribute my 2 and get plus 4, which is 3x plus 4, over my common denominator, x times x plus 2. So that's simplified. That's the denominator. Now I'm going to take the numerator, 2 over x plus 2, times the reciprocal of this, x and x plus 2 over 3x plus 4. So that means these x plus 2's will cancel out, and I have 2x over 3x plus 4. But we've got to remember that we're equaling 2 here, so equals 2. So now, since it's just one thing equals one thing, I can cross multiply this, and I get 2x equals 6x plus 8, and 2x minus 6x is negative 4x equals 8, so x equals negative 2. And then, like I said in the last problem, you take that and you look back at the original problem. If x equals negative 2, then x plus 2 is going to be a factor that won't work. And we do have that in two different denominators. So x equals negative 2 is not going to work. That solution is extraneous. It's extra. It's not really real. And the answer to the problem, the solution is no solution. You write no solution. And of course, when I'm grading these, like on the test or a quiz or whatever, I have to see all this work. I have to see you getting the x value that is extraneous and then figuring out that it won't work and then writing no solution. If all you have on the paper is no solution, you will not get any credit. Anybody can guess no solution. All right, and that's the end of this video, so you guys have a good night.